All right, so what is subjective and what is objective, and how is it related to diagnoses? Diagnosis? I don't know. Diagnosi? I don't know. Whatever plural for diagnosis. Anyways, subjective is something you can say, imply, say, I feel like I'm breathing funny, or, something like that. I feel funny when I breathe. That's subjective. Objective is something that can be touched or tasted or heard or, felt in some way. When I put my stethoscope on you and I hear a when you breathe, yeah, I just heard adventitious breath sounds. You got something going on in there. Some sort of crackles, wheezings, crunchies, something. I had a nurse one time, he would just write wet junk in breath sounds. Dry junk, wet junk. That was it. He would not ever write down like adventitious or, crackles, wheezes, anything like that. He just wrote wet junk, dry junk. MD to check on or something like that. Anyways, back to the point of the video. I feel funny is my subjective when I breathe. Objective is I hear the adventitious sounds coming out of your lungs. So, let's just say you felt funny for years. You just feel like you can't catch your breath. You just feel like, whatever it is, you just can't breathe. And x-rays have been ordered, and MRIs have been ordered, and various other dye scans have been ordered, and they still don't see anything. Now, the doctor may fully understand, but not tell you that he has a very good idea that you've got some sort of cancer that's dealing with your lungs, or you've got some sort of COPD, or some sort of mesothelioma, or some sort of, something that's dealing with your lungs. But nothing's showing up on CAT scans, MRIs, various other dye scans. Nothing's showing up. And so this doctor is not going to diagnose you with COPD, cancer, mesothelioma, whatever it may be. What they're going to do is continue these testings until they finally get that objective data. That one little piece of proven, can touch, can see, can feel, can hear evidence. Yes, we know you're short of breath. Yes, we know that you can't climb stairs. And we know that you're having trouble breathing at night. Can't lay on your back and things like that. We know these things. These are all subjective things. But until someone gets that one little, whatever it may be, that you can touch, feel, smell, hear, that objective data, a diagnosis probably will not be made. Now, treatment may be given while you still have subjective data, but a specific diagnosis is typically not made until an objective data is provided. So, I may say, the nurse says, I hear adventitious sounds. So we know we have adventitious sounds, but we don't know what it is. So other tests will be run to see what is going on here for these adventitious sounds. Even though the patient says, I feel funny, can't climb stairs, things like this. But until something shows up that you can touch and feel or hear or smell or something you can prove is right there, typically a diagnosis is not made. Typically. Not always, but typically. These are how things can go misdiagnosed or not diagnosed for a while. Not saying that the doctors don't know. They probably do know or have a very, very good idea as to what is going on. They're just not going to prove it because it can't be proven. And I hate it when people say, the doctors won't tell me anything. The doctors don't know anything. They don't do anything. Things like that. They are actually doing something. They do know something. That's why they keep doing these tests. And people say, oh, they don't know what's going on. That's why they keep running these tests. No, they keep running these tests on you because they have a very good idea as to what it is. They're just waiting for that one single piece of objective data to come out for them to finally say, that is what it is. It kind of irks me, when people say, the medical field in general, oh, y'all are a bunch of liars and y'all don't know what's going on and y'all don't know how to do your jobs. And, if you knew how to do your job, you would know what was wrong with me. things like that. And it's all related to the subjective and objective data. Yes, we know all of these things from your subjective data. We know these things. But all we know as objective is you have adventitious sounds. We don't know why you have adventitious sounds. And until we know this, you're not going to be diagnosed. And as frustrating as it is, I feel that the general public needs to understand there needs to be processes in place to finally get a diagnosis. You don't want to misdiagnose something simply based on subjective data, as subjective data can oftentimes be different things, but the end goal is to get that objective data and finally figure out what it is that's going on. And so understanding subjective and objective data is definitely something that the medical field does, and I feel like other people kind of need to know why it's really in place. You know, it's not really a policy, but it's sort of a known or maybe an unknown fact. I don't know if it's known or known. Anyways, I feel that needs to be more implied as to what's going on with these subjective and objective datas. The little example I gave today, of course, lung cancer, or breathing issues, I should say. I didn't specifically say lung cancer, but you know, that may be a little easier to find, but other possibilities may not be as easy to find. But you still got to have that objective data. You still have to have that one piece of evidence that can be seen or felt or heard or anything like that. And so understanding that is you know, really where you come up with diagnosi, whatever diagnosis plural is. Anyways, if you know of examples of this, let me know. You know, I'd like to know, you know, what subjectively you knew until it was proven objectively. You know, I've known several things, but when I came to the doctor about them, they were like, yeah, but, you know, do you have any evidence? No, I unfortunately don't. You know, and they'd be like, yeah, see, we need that evidence. So if you like this, let me know. You know, I want to know who's dealt with this subjective and objective data before as well. If you like this video, check this one out over here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe over there. I hope it helps. I hope I didn't rack your brain too much. Thank you much.